Okay, I want to show a basic deadfall set here using our trigger system. First, let me show you how to bait it. Okay, on the end of your trigger system here, you've got 3 holes on the end here, and you should receive some like snare line. Usually I cut off about 8 inches or so. And what I do is I take and put the wire in there, and I kind of just take it halfway and kind of just twist it off there, kind of like so. And then what I'm using for bait is just cranberries. And I'll take a couple of them and I'll just lay it on one side of it. And then I'll just take one section of the wire and then just kind of wrap it tightly around it until I pretty much come to the end. Then I'll flip it over, grab another piece or so there. Let's see if you can see that. Hopefully I'm keeping it in the camera. I'll grab the other side and I'll go the opposite way, pulling it nice and tight. And then I'll just tie it off together. Just like so. What that does, it kind of makes them work for it. And usually that'll actually last years. I've got traps in my bag that still have the bait from the original settings, because usually they set it off before they ever get the bait. Okay. Well, let me show you something else too here. So, you take the trigger system, you'll have the 2 points at one end, the 2 squares at the other. There's a G at the bottom, hopefully you can see that. That indicates going towards the ground. The hook here, this is for like hooking to the stakes or hooking towards your the weighted end, if you will. This right here is what we call the engine notch. This is where the spring-loaded part of the snare, if you will be hooked to. Okay, so this is the trigger end of it. You have a notch and then you have a post. The post goes into the notch like so, and then that's what you hold with your 2 fingers when you put it under your deadfall, kind of just like that. So it just goes just like that. Okay, so I already got my deadfall figured out. It's a rather large deadfall. This thing weighs about 75 pounds. This thing will definitely take out a squirrel, if not a raccoon. I got the heavy end on the deadfall end. I've got kind of a path leading here. Something you need to know is that you need a platform stone. Platform stone is what you'll put the base of your trigger system on. You definitely don't want to put your trigger system in the dirt, especially when you got a heavy stone. It'll just force it in, and that could create problems down the road. So basically what you're going to want to do is just go ahead and set your trigger system, hold it with your index finger and your thumb, lift up your deadfall, Make sure you have nothing underneath that's going to interfere with it coming down. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll let it drop so I can hear that thud, as opposed to let's put a rock under there. Hear it sound, you hear how you don't get the thud? It's what you want to hear. Okay, so get your platform stone. You want your platform stone basically level with the ground. You want it right outside the deadfall. You want your trigger system to be angled. Basically, you want this pointed right where the deadfall meets the ground. Just like so. Now, this being so heavy, it's going to put a lot of tension on the trigger system. So you're going to want to set the sensitivity. So the way you do that is basically just find the sweet spot. You'll take and release the pressure on the diagonal bar. And you want to find it, a little sweet spot where it just releases. Okay, now another thing you're going to find is that depending on the critter, this thing can actually spin. Okay, so if you have, say, an animal come in and is working on the bait but is kind of pushing on it, you can literally have them push the bait out from underneath the deadfall. So what you can do, see, I had a couple sticks here. Take a couple of sticks and you can put them on each side of the trigger system. And what that's going to do is make it so that it's banging back and forth on them. Now the ground's kind of hard, so what I would do is kind of add some rocks to it just for some added support. Whatever it takes to make it happen. Okay, so basically this is a set right here. Now, again, this is a heavier set. This is not going to probably set off for a little, little field mice. This is going to set off for a squirrel or an actual raccoon or something a little bit larger. So let me get see, it broke the stick. It's a good set. So basically that's it. That's a basic set with our trigger system.